Hi guys, welcome back to the garden. If you're new here, I'm Nessie and right now I'm making a garden for my gnome home. Today I'm turning these beanbag beans into tomato plants and later on I'll be showing you how I made some aubergine plants. After you've raided someone's beanbag for a few beans, grab a piece of packing foam because that'll be super handy for when you paint your tomatoes. Also you'll need some scrap offcuts of wire. Poke the beanbag beans into the end of the wire scraps. Be careful not to poke it all the way through though, and then stick them into the foam block. I used normal acrylic paint and painted the beans red like juicy ripe tomatoes. It may take a couple of coats. When the red was dry, I painted around the wires those tiny pointy leaf things that like to impersonate spiders on the kitchen bench. How cute are these guys? I'm using this green paper covered wire for the stalks. Cut the wire into lengths and add some tacky glue to one end and gently slide the tomato on using the same hole you made before. And this is what happens when you poke too hard. Now I have to repaint this one. Here's a bunch of tomatoes on long stalks, almost ready to go on the plants. I decided I also need some harvested tomatoes, so I made a bunch with much shorter stalks. And then, just to see if I could do it, I took some twisted wires and made one of those clusters of tomatoes on the vine. I'm just including it here to show you another option. Don't forget, a full list of all the materials used in this video is in the description below. And while you're at it, check out the link to my Nessie Monster merch, where you can buy the cute designs I've created on stickers, t-shirts, mugs, phone cases and more. It helps if you super glue the wires into place because they keep wanting to spin around the main stem. Unless you like a challenge, and then in that case, don't bother. I didn't have any green paper, so I used markers to colour some art paper and cut them into 1/2-inch strips and punched out about a bajillion tiny leaves with this maple leaf paper punch. Then, because I'm a sucker for punishment, I cut each leaf into 3 even tinier leaves. Tomato leaves have a serrated edge to them, so I wanted all the pointy edges. They're not exactly like tomato leaves, but it gives the same impression. Try not to sneeze while you're doing this. Cut a bunch more wire stems and bend them over at the top. Add some tacky glue and glue on the tiny leaves in a multi-pinnate cluster. Don't forget to add some leaves to the stalks with the tomatoes on too, in pretty much the same way. This is what they should look like so far. I ordered this Florist tape from AliExpress and it's not sticky and looks a bit like crepe paper, but I'm using it to bind my tomato plant stalks together. Take just a few stalks at a time and wrap the Florist tape around the wire with a little tension and on an angle to bind the stalks. The tape will usually stick in place, but if it doesn't, you can always add just a drop of tacky glue on the end. Now you've bound all the stalk bundles, you can bind them together to form the plant, and it looks like it has one main stem to it. Just like that, you have tomato plants ready for the garden. For your aubergines, pre-cut some all-wire stems and dig out your hoarded stash of foil from your chocolate Easter egg wrappers. We're making our aubergines with spun cotton, and as you can see, I very diligently ate lots of Easter chocolate, all in the name of art, and now it's paying off. Take a small piece of foil, start folding it into shape before adding some tacky glue and wrapping the foil into an aubergine's shape around the wire. Now wrap the tiny aubergines with masking tape. You may want to add another drop of tacky glue to where the stem joins the aubergine just to help secure it. When you have your aubergine cores ready, start wrapping them with unravelled cotton wool and cornstarch paste. The recipe for the paste will be in the description below, and try and get your aubergines as smooth as possible. The next step is going to be painting, so you can paint it while it's wet with watercolours, but I want a more saturated solid colour, so I'm going to wait until they're dry before I start slapping on some purple acrylic paint. Here's my aubergines looking like deformed tadpoles drying in the sun. Give them a coat of purple paint and let it dry. Now they look like a bunch of demented party balloons. I added a highlight to each aubergine by brushing on a patch of lighter purple and blending out the edges with a clean brush. Add the green top bit to the aubergine. Nail art brushes are brilliant for painting fine details like these, so if you can find a cheap set, grab them. To cover your aubergines with a gloss, you could use Dimensional Magic or UV resin. I chose Dimensional Magic and I gave the aubergines a nice coat of it. It makes them look glossy and slightly less lumpy. Is it just me, or would these beauties make great earrings? Keep the stems long for the ones on the plants, but trim the stems of the harvested aubergines nice and short. They look good enough to eat! I added leaves to the aubergine stems like I did for the tomatoes, but they seemed a little too small. To solve this, I raided my stash of maple leaves and trimmed just the very tips off the two side points. Glue a few on some wire stems, and then when the glue is dry, start wrapping them in bundles just like I did with the tomatoes. I'm no gardening expert, but as far as I know, aubergine plants don't grow as tall as tomato plants, so make sure they have shorter stems overall. Voila, finished aubergine plants. But what am I going to plant them all in? I made a paper template of the garden plot. I found a block of floral foam or Oasis at a thrift store, so once I get it out of the wrapper, I can use the template to cut a piece for the garden bed. Floral foam is super easy to cut, and I know it looks like I'm using a sharp knife, but it's actually super blunt. Trace the template outline and cut it out. It fits pretty well. There are a few gaps around the edges, but I'll deal with them in another video. Poke the plants in wherever you want them. They're looking pretty good with the cauliflower and lettuces. I can't wait to finish making all the plants so I can put them all together in a garden for Sandy. I have so many ideas, but next time I'm making runner beans. I'll leave you with a few shots of the finished results so far. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on any new uploads, and leave a comment because I'd love to hear from you. It really helps my channel to grow. If you want to share your own crafty ideas and projects, join my Facebook page called Nessie Monster Crafts. And we have Fun Day Fridays where we can all show off our latest works in progress. If you can afford it, please consider buying me a coffee. Links for both my Facebook group and coffee account are in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!